Time's up. Let's do this.
We're in for a wild night.
Welcome everyone to episode 280 of Born to be Wild, a wild Hearthstone podcast where we have fun hanging out with friends, talking about the wild formats of Hearthstone, and spotlighting members of the wild community. I am your host, ElectricSheepCity. It is great to be back on this fantastic Friday evening here in Kickin' Rad, Colorado. I am joined by a fellow host, Schmoopydady.
I won't be cold this episode. For
those of you joining us for the first time, welcome aboard. We record this podcast live every Friday evening at twitch.tv/borntobewildhs, and the video version of this podcast is posted to YouTube shortly thereafter. Audio versions are also distributed to all of the podcast apps. However you are watching, listening, or absorbing via osmosis this podcast today, thank you. Yes, you.
Content plug, Schmoopydady. Schmoopydady. Before we get into the main topic of the show tonight, I'd like to say a quick thank you to the patrons of our show. Your support means the world to us. If you enjoyed this content, please like, comment, and subscribe on this video on YouTube. Another simple way to support the show is leave a review on your podcast platform of choice. If you're watching live on Twitch, we've got some awesome emotes that you can unlock by subscribing to the channel. This is free if you use Amazon Prime. And finally, if you'd like to support the show financially, you can join our Patreon for as little as $1 per month. We have some channels in the Discord that are unlocked by subscribing to the Patreon, where you can see the show coming together each week. Check it out. If you'd like to interact with us personally, please join our Discord, a free and amazing online community of friends from all across the world who love talking about wild Hearthstone. Links to all this stuff, including our merch, can be found on our website, which is www.borntobewildhs.com. Sheep, how's your week?
My week was pretty good, starting right after the podcast last week. So, after the podcast ends, Schmoopydady, Hydra, and I talk for a little bit. Hydra and I a little bit longer because we're like more West Coasty, and Schmoopydady is on the East Coast, and there's a 3-hour difference between.
That was a late episode. That was a late episode,
and that one was late.
I went to bed at 1. I was like, that was a late episode.
Yeah, I stayed up till about 2 or 3. Not all of that was with Hydra, so while we were talking, I was sharing my screen and playing Treant Druid because on EU, because you had mentioned that being a good climbing deck last week, and I actually had already crafted that one before on EU because it's cheap.
Yes, make it cheap, yeah.
Right. So I think I had to maybe craft 1 or 2 commons or rares, but it was easy, right? And I proceeded to climb from bronze 10. I had lost my 11x for last month. So I with a 10x multiplier. And for me, it's 4:00 p.m. when EU rolls over. I went to bed 2 or 3. It was later than it should have been, but I was jamming games and I was winning. Woke up the next day, a little bit later, had breakfast, had brunch with the kiddo, was hanging out with him. And then by the time it was actual lunchtime, because I just really had a snack. It wasn't a put out a big thing.
Sure. Right. You guys weren't having mimosas.
But we make it a fun thing for him,
Yeah, sure.
That kind of thing. So for actual lunchtime, I was actually just jamming games because he was busy eating, and I wasn't having to kind of be like a little bit more present like right then. And I had proceeded to hit legend in Wild EU.
What was your record?
So I have no clue because
it was all mobile.
A lot of it was on PC because that evening. So I may actually be able to pull that up.
You must have been flying.
I wasn't paying attention to it because like Hydra and I was just talking, and so I was just jamming games. Like, okay, not the pop-off turn. Hold, go. Like, hold on. Like, let me focus real quick. Do the thing. All right, and then we go back to just talking. Like,
I gave that deck to Linny because Linny was trying to climb standard earlier in the week, and she was miserable. Like, she literally like had her first stream, she was all losing. Her second stream, she was like mostly losing. So I was like, why don't you play trees in Wild? Because she like loves the goofy treants.
I mean,
fun fact
who doesn't?
Fun fact about Linny the streamer. She mostly streams standard. Sometimes I can cyberbully her into streaming Wild. She loves ugly things and thinks they're cute, especially if they have faces. And so she thinks that treants are adorable. She wants to hug them. She wants to cuddle them. She wants to snuggle them. She thinks they're the greatest little things. And so well, I mean, I think they're horrible nightmare plants. But holy crap!
But do you not want to cuddle them?
No, I don't want to cuddle the treant. I think it's going to bite me. So I gave her the deck, and I'm like, okay, so this is generally the play. The play. This is how you play it. I wouldn't consider it an easy deck. It's really easy to get sucked into, especially because she had chatters that had like terrible advice that like play a treant every turn, and it's like, no, you don't want to. No. Like no. You'll do that. You'll do that in certain hands because you know that you don't need every resource and you want to be efficient with your mana. Sure, but you don't do that all the freaking time. So I gave her like a quick little mulligan guide.
It's Miracle Rogue, but with treants and in Druid is what it kind of feels like.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's Brown Miracle Rogue is a good way to think about it, and it goes real long. But no, she was playing it pretty much like a pro. Like she didn't know what all the cards did because she's a standard player, not a Wild player. But I was really impressed with how she was navigating the pop-off turns because I was like, some of the pop-off turns can get a little in the weed of like, how many treants can I get down? How many cards do I really want to draw? Do I really want to draw, or do I just want to cultivate this board? And so after we learned that the seedlings are not treants, they're seedlings, she went something like...
It's a very, very, very key difference that, like, if you don't know, like...
you're turning one of your best cards in your deck into one of your worst cards if you're just playing them as 1/1s and being like, why isn't this discounted? Yeah, that's not great, Lynn. But she went, like, I kid you not, I think it was like 17-3. She was a higher rank in Wild than she was in Standard when she was done, and her bonus was gone by the end of the stream. But it was hysterical because she's queuing into like Murloc Paladin, right? Like Standard Murloc Paladin. She's like, oh no, not Murloc Paladin. I'm like, Lenny, you're gonna beat the crap out of these guys with this thing. And like she like would decimate them. She'd be like, ha. Well met, jackass. And it's like, yeah, it's very cathartic. So anyway, like, it's a great deck to give people, especially at low MMR, because you just steamroll people. And so you had it. I didn't mean to hijack your week, but I wanted to share that story because it was very funny. You're not the only person that was just like, hey, let me just sleeve up Treant Druid and just fly up the ladder.
Well, and it's cheap. Like the barrier to entry from a cost perspective is almost negligible, right? Like EU
1900 dust, I think. Depending on what list you use, I'm
not running Floop, now. So mine might be lower. Yeah, but
well, that's it. Like without Floop, it's like 1900 dust. Exactly, with Floop, it's a little bit. It's like 300-400 dust cheaper than Nazmani Priest. Like even with Floop, there's no epics. That's your only legendary, and Floop is very, very good. I'm now a Floop believer because Floop unlocks let me just play 3 blood treants and one of them's a spider tank on turn 1. And also play my aeroponics. And also play my other aeroponics.
What did you sub out for Floop? Because Floop,
I have
agreed, is
one wave shaping.
In A. That is exactly what I cut to. Perfect. Excellent.
One wave shaping. And that's a Corb cut. And Corbett was looking at wave shaping. He's just like, honestly, it makes your aquatic forms worse. And aquatic form is so good at just kind of being like, hey, 0 mana, let's discount my owl by 1 and go get something that I want on the bottom of my deck. You don't always want what you put there with wave shaping. So.
And sometimes I will actively, like if I have an aquatic in hand, sometimes I'll pick something heavier, knowing that I'm going to just get use my aquatic, but burn my aquatic. Like,
right.
On the one hand, but on the other hand, I don't know. I definitely don't think that wave shaping is core. I'm glad that, we played around with it since it was new, right? Like that was the whole thing.
Yeah, I think,
but I don't think
tracking
it's core.
is good.
Yeah. Yeah.
At the same time, like aquatic, you could make you could make a point that aquatic form is a more important card in the list, just by virtue of being 0 mana, draw 1. Yeah,
a 0 mana tracking,
right?
With some downsides, you have to have the mana to actually draw it that turn, but like the 0 mana is what fuels the pop off turns, like I called it Miracle Rogue, but Druid. It's that, but in the kind of play pattern in that, not the result, because with treants, honestly, sometimes oftentimes I will have larger treants than those 8/8s. Like, it's okay.
That's not uncommon. It's not uncommon.
And definitely more of them.
Yes.
So, absolutely wrecked shop there. Actually did not hit Legend in Standard EU, but still retained my 10x. So that was nice. Yeah. Did regain 11x, very much so, in EU. That 10x climb, but with a deck that I've played before and just kind of feel comfortable with and can just get the rep. Like, I just need to actually play it on the server.
The time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the time. Speaking of time, holy moly. The most fun part of the week was yesterday, Theorycrafting. So Theorycrafted, I don't remember exactly what time I started. It was like 1 something, 2 something.
For me, it was 3. For me, it was 3 p.m.
Okay.
I don't know when you wrapped up. I imagine it was midnight my time, but like,
yeah,
you went for a good 9 hours easily.
And had so much fun. So in that final hour, May was in Theorycrafting again. So we got to do wild friendlies with May. And that was a blast as well. My wild decks were not the best, but they were very fun. The wild decks that I played were a Herald, so having Ragnaros and all of the like invoking mechanic things for that. So Ragnaros and that is like is he an 8/8? I don't think he's an 8/8.
Yeah, I think he's an 8/8. He's an 8/8 and his fists are tiny and gruff.
Yeah. So we've got mini Ragnaros, we've got MIDI, like with the D, like MIDI Ragnaros, and we've got, the big Ragnaros. And whenever you play him, because he's a colossal, the appendages, those are the attack and death rattle, thus end of turn effects that he gets. But I was playing a Herald version. So the way that those grow is you play cards that herald, and so 2 of them, and it goes from is it 2 attack to a 4 attack, and then 2 more, so 4 total, goes from a 4 attack to an 8 attack. And each of those appendages have the death rattle, deal 2, 4, or 8 attack, respectively. Right? Yeah, as many as the starting attack. Like if you buff them,
starting attack,
the death rattle doesn't scale. But yeah, exactly. So if you've heralded 4 times, then you're dropping Ragnaros and you're getting 2 rag shots off, and that's if you don't have any other death rattles on the board. Every time you herald, you're summoning one of those little heralded, they're called Soldiers of Ragnaros, those tokens.
Right.
And oh my gosh, the signature art on the tokens looks sick. Like incredibly
the signature
sick.
Art. We're allowed to say this now. The signature art this set is ridiculously beautiful. The Colossals might not necessarily be playable, but their art is amazing. And like I've never been so compelled. Like the Starship stuff came out, and the Starship stuff was cool, right? But like they all kind of looked like starships. These each look like look like unique pieces of art. They're all beautiful.
And they're all incredible. Honestly, the face for the Ragnaros looks a little derpy. But like I kind of like that, but it doesn't kind of fit the rest of the kind of like art
well, love
of
that,
it.
So there you go.
Yeah. So like I said, I like it like his face, but I like it because I think it's derpy. Like because I think it doesn't quite fit. The rest of the art still looks incredible, and like I said, the soldiers, those tokens, those are the part that looks so cool. So I don't think I'm gonna be like, spending the money to chase those. But if it's a bundle, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. It depends on how they want to go about doing that. I don't know if they gave any clues in client either.
No, I don't recall. I probably could have like gone into the crafting like and seen if I could. Well, no, because then it wouldn't have. You can still disenchant things that you've bought, right? So
yes.
No. It's the hero portraits and whatnot where it like actively tells you, unless it's whatever the free one is from the rewards track, which I didn't track down.
When I was driving the Theorycraft that one time, did I disenchant a signature? I think I did.
I think you did. It was Patches. It was Meatball Patches.
It was Patches. I saw Patches.
It was Meatball Patches. You actively sought it out. Yeah.
Right, well, there you go. I'd do it again.
So I played so much, and before I even actually started the stream, I was like getting like kind of used to the decks, or just kind of like making sure that everything worked. And so I queued up a game, and it was against Brigitus, and all of a sudden I'm being spectated by Raven, and so that one was on like the big like
thing. Nice.
And then right after that, I get into another game. Same exact matchup. I was on Shaman playing against Rogue, which it is a Herald Rogue. So the Shaman is also a Herald. The little tokens basically have like a not dire wolf. What's it called? But the adjacent minions get +1 attack, and then it goes up to 2, and then it goes up to 4 as those grow. But so it has that effect, and so it's the one that I built. Me being me is kind of tokeny at the beginning, and then of course Deathwing and stuff like that towards the end. So Bridge whooped me. Like, it was kind of close, but then like she won at the end, convincingly.
Unlucky.
Then same exact matchup, but then I played against Baby Bear, and in that one, I was like holding on for my life, holding on for my life, holding on for my life. Boom, lethal. I win.
Nice.
So I want to go back and watch those on the like big stream thing and see what like they were saying about. I know that the focus is on the cards and like stuff like that,
right.
but I'm still gonna
you got your play casted
twice in rapid succession.
Nice.
So, and then it just went on from there. It was so much fun. We will get into probably more of the details, but this is my theory crafting. I played these. It was fun. Because that's what happened.
And we'll interview definitely more in depth later, part of our discussion topic.
Excitement abounds. Well, then today, unfortunately, the kiddo is so he has an ear infection in his right ear. You know, he's got a amoxicillin. That happened actually earlier in the week. I didn't kind of cover it because we really we knew it was probably going to happen.
Brewing. Yeah.
He no longer has his ear tubes in. So whenever he was younger, you know, we had surgery to get like ear tubes because he had a decent amount of ear infections. And whenever he grows, they're supposed to eventually, you know, come out, but it's supposed to be like when he's like 5 or something. My dude is 3. Dude turns 4 in December. So like it's
they shouldn't be gone already.
But they are both gone. So daycare this morning was like, hey, he's saying that his ear hurts. Like, I know that he had that, but like, you know, if he says it after a certain point, then like we're going to ask you to come get him. They did not do that thing, but we went ahead and scheduled like a doctor's appointment because, you know.
Yeah. Sometimes you just know.
Yeah. And the amoxicillin, like today was supposed to be his last day on it. Took him in, and the other ear now has an ear infection. But, you know, when you develop an ear infection while you're on antibiotics, that means that the bacteria are resistant. Yeah. So we got additional, like, stronger antibiotics to, like, really knock him out, and he's going to be taking them for longer to,
poor guy,
you know, make sure that they're really gone, because we don't want him to have any. We already know that he has some antibiotic resistant bacteria there. So yeah, the lamb is unfortunately got an ear infection again. So that's actually why we were a little late, because that was at 4:30, and then actually tried to pick up his.
So you're
medicine.
running in the door to deal with me.
Yeah.
I forget. Okay, this sounds weird. I forget that I'm so far in front of you in the night. Okay, because like for me, I've been, if like, you know, I sent you a message at like 8:30 my time, being like, "Hey, everybody's asleep in my house. This is like, you know, I'm never ready this early." And here I am thinking you're like me, and it's like, you know, 9:50 at night, and like, no, your night's just starting.
Yeah, it's almost 8 o'clock. So
right, we're in different parts of our evening schnick.
Hence why Hydra and I were just hanging out, and why you went to pass out, because it was already super late for you. Whenever I hit legendary,
it's pass out time for Schmoopydady.
Well, it's not pass out time for Schmoopydady right now. How was your week, my friend?
this week
So I think that'll be great on the recording, but live people couldn't hear you.
Man,
whatever note you hit, Discord was like, nope.
It sucked. It was not good. So recording last week's episode, Hydra's like, hey, Schmoopy, you're like, are you shivering? Are you cold? And I'm like, yeah, I'm a little chilly, but I wasn't bouncing because I was shivering. I was bouncing because I'm like, an ADD nervous wreck, and I have to twitch. And so I was bouncing my leg. And so it looked like I was shivering, but I wasn't shivering. But I was colder than usual. I did notice that I was colder than usual. I made note of that. It took until Saturday for us to realize that, like, oh, no, we don't have any heat. So now what do you do?
No.
And now it was still in the 50s in the house, like in the upper 50s. So we're like, all right, people put on sweatshirts, put on blankets, hang in there. That's like, I didn't want to call in somebody on emergency just to have to wait for a part, paying like extra thousands of dollars just to bring them in on the emergency on the weekend. So we left we found somebody that could come out. They came out on Monday. They looked at the part. They quickly identified it. Guy was awesome. Schmoopy Mommy and I got to go to work. Her in-laws were nice enough to not only put us up starting Sunday night into Monday and basically ending Thursday. So, like, I've been sleeping on a couch for, like, multiple days in a row. Guy got out. Guy figured out what it was. They ordered the right part. It was like a circuit board or something like that. He did identify a couple places where it could be the problem. There's parts of the HVAC system that we've never cleaned before because we didn't know we needed to clean it. So it's like an almost 10-year-old HVAC system, and we're gonna have to do a couple of extra steps if we want to get it to go another 10 years. Just one of the realities of like owning a home is just like, yep, stuff's going to break some time, especially around the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 year mark. Like as you go, just stuff starts failing. It's inevitable, like death.
Yeah.
And so we have no heat, but now we do because we got the new part in there. But I had to take off on Thursday to let this guy in, and it was a weird day because I'm packing up the kids to go to school, but I have to drive them I have to drive my son to my driveway to get him on the bus. And I'm half an hour plus away from where I live. And so I'm like making lunches and packing up, and it's not my house, and nothing is where I want it to be. And it's a no good, very bad situation. And I get Schmoopy's being a pain in the butt. Because it's like, dude, we're leaving in 5 minutes. He's like, but I'm eating my piece of toast. I'm like, you need to brush your teeth or people are going to think you're an animal. Go brush your teeth. And so he brushes his teeth and goes, no, it's going to make my toast taste bad. I'm like, you've already eaten 2 pieces of toast. This is your 3rd piece of toast covered in butter and jam. I need you to go brush your freaking teeth so that they don't rot out of your head. And so he brushes his teeth and he's eating his toast and he's like, it tastes bad. I knew it would. Why did you do this to me? And I'm like, dude, I don't know if I'm going to get you on your bus on time. Get in the freaking car. So I'm packing up stuff. I'm throwing it in there. We get there with 2 minutes to spare. Okay. I did not break any speeding laws. I properly did take the highway though, so that I had some leeway. And we got Schmoopy on the bus, and he calmed down. He hung out. He was just like, nah, we're good. The difference between like Schmoopy not on his medicine and Schmoopy with some food on his medicine, he's just like, no, I'm good. I'll have a good day. So he had a good day. Had to drop daughter off at preschool, but not too soon, because if you drop them off too soon, we get charged. So I had to kind of like waste 20, 25 minutes going and getting gas and like, we got to sit on the swing outside of her little place for like, 5 minutes. And she's like, yeah, this is fun. And then I got her in there. And then I'm like, okay, I've got to let this guy in. He fixes my house, right? He shows up early for the appointment, fixes it. Great. No problem. Awesome. Then I get a call from my wife. Hi, you gotta pick up daughter. She has a fever. They get low grade fever. So I went from being like, okay, cool. It's Thursday. It's Theorycraft day. I'm trying to jam a bunch of stuff together. I can record different videos. Like, I can do a set review. I haven't gotten to a set review yet. Like, remember, I'm not at my location, so I can't record anything. I tried to do a stream. That was a disaster. We'll talk about that later. I can't record anything. And there's like lots of content to record and lots of it that's like very wild relevant. And so I'm like chomping at the bit to do all that. And now I'm basically like babysitting, and like, she's not hard, right? She wanted a bunch of blankets and a bunch of pillows, and the house is getting warmer, and we're watching TV. But I also can't like run upstairs and record a video for an hour, right? Like, I can't do that to I can't do that to my 4-year-old. Like, if I can, I could, but it's not good parenting.
Right.
It's like, no, it's not the way to go, kids. So this isn't the 90s. So we hung out, and then you were doing the thing. You started the thing early. I couldn't join you because I was doing dad stuff. And then I had realized earlier that I had double booked for a school event. We were doing like a students versus staff basketball game, and I am not a good basketball player. The first shot in the game was the first shot I had taken in a basketball game, in an actual, honest to God, with a ref basketball game, since middle school. Like, the body's a lot different than it was back then. I could still run and stuff. Like, I did okay rebounding, surprisingly, because it's like not that different from boxing out for a header or something like that. So I was able to hold off younger people than me and establish my space, probably because I'm also twice as heavy as them, right? But yeah, I sunk my first 3, which was my first shot. And every other shot after that was an absolute disaster. One was an air ball that turned into an assist because it got put back for an immediate rebound. That was pretty sick. All right.
Nice.
That
was
back
a pass.
to 2. Yeah, it totally 100% completely expected. I also didn't expect I'd get that tired sprinting around for 3 minutes. I've been like coaching soccer and staying relatively in shape, like not a lot in shape, but like I could run around with the kids that I'm coaching, of various age groups, and like coach for 3 hours and have no problem. But this was a different physical test. But today I feel pretty good. But after that, I was like working my way home, and we had a ton of snow here in the Northeast, and it's all melting all at once. And I'm driving on parkways that were built when they were literally Model T cars. They do not drain very well. So I'm like taking my time, and by the time it got time for me to hop on for the Theorycraft, I was done. I was done with sleeping on couches. I was done with not having heat. I was done with trying to figure out where my kids are. I was done, and so I went to bed.
Yeah, and you warned me, like, hey, it's going to be a little later.
The event went to overtime
initially, I think I'm not going to make it. And I understood. And now knowing what's happened, like, man, if you had joined, like, you would have harshed the vibe. Like, thank you for not joining. Maybe. And I'm glad that we get to talk now. Like, does that make sense?
I might have been grumpy.
Right.
And earlier in the week, and this is part of my frustration too, is again, I can't make any content when I'm not in the house. There's no heat. So like, I can't do the thing that I'm having fun doing. I decided on the 1st of the month It was a terrible climb. I heard from multiple people that this was like one of the hardest climbs they've had in a while. It's very disorganized. There's a lot of stuff floating around. A ton of us had bad runs. Ben from work said he has the roughest start to a climb of any month he's ever played this month. A couple other people had like similar starts. I started 1 and 5 on Treants. I was literally drawing bricks. And then when I had like a so-so hand to work with, I was either throwing or it just wasn't panning out. So it was like, oh man, this is brutal. I got to D5 and I said, you know what? Screw it. I will play kind of viewer decks to Legend. And so what I'm doing right now on my own stream is I'm streaming Survivor decks where people send me a deck and they say, okay, I'm going to delete this deck after it loses twice. And so, yeah, Large Ivan started 2 and 11 in chat. That's the multiple people have told me they had a terrible start to this month. And so I said, you know what? Forget it. I was climbing with Survivor decks before the month changed over. Let me just play them and we'll play them to Legend and that will be a fun gimmick and let's do it. On that stream, I went from D5 0 stars to at one point being D1 2 stars. It was quite something. We were slaying with Survivor decks and like different types of decks. Questline DH, plus 125 Warrior, Reno Shaman with the terrible quest in it.
Nice.
XL Shadow Priest, right? Like we were just kind of like cruising through. And I was like eliminating some decks here and there, but not a ton of decks. And then I threw a couple games real hard and I was just like, you know what? I'm this midnight. I'm not making it. It's been a 3-hour stream. It's been an awesome stream. And that was before I realized that we were going to be done with Heat. So now I'm committing to, okay, I can't actually play to hit Legend until I do it with Survivor decks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't stream Monday night, understandably. Tuesday night, I try to stream from my phone, old school Schmoopydady style. Using the Twitch app. It's actually pretty good, but I think I made one critical mistake. I think the Twitch app isn't allowed to have access to my mic, and I know there's a place to push a button and fix that, but I couldn't figure that out on the fly having started the stream itself. So I started the stream and people could hear the sound of the app, but they couldn't hear me talk. So I'm like typing on my laptop and I'm typing in the in-game chat and I'm playing without a tracker, and chat's getting a little snarky about some of my piloting of the decks without a tracker. So I'm like getting a little bit annoyed and like I'm trying to fix the mic situation, but I had it set up so that it was only sharing information from the app, and the only app that it was sharing from was Hearthstone. So if I closed the Hearthstone window to go try to figure out the mic situation, it basically made the screen black. So I'd be basically pitching people into no visuals, no audio. And now chat's getting snotty about no visuals, no audio. So I'm just pissed. I'm just straight up just pissed the entire time. I go about
I'm pissed. I'm sheep.
I go about 2 hours. A seed lock skips my turn because of mass production animation BS. And I don't need mass production nerf, chat. I know I lost anyway, but like I was playing a suboptimal version of a list that I love, and also like getting my turn skipped by animations, and also I'm doing my freaking best, okay? I'm on my freaking phone. I took my case. My big case, chat, I took my case off because I remember when I used to stream, it used to overheat like crazy and drop the stream. So to prevent me from dropping the stream, I took it out of the case so that it would stay as cool as possible. Like I did everything I could, except for apparently the microphone permissions properly. So it was miserable. I'm never trying it ever again. It's like, that was fun. It's virtually unusable for YouTube content, but I ended it when I closed the app to try and get around the mass production animations, and then the app would not recapture Hearthstone, the application. So I just typed all right. I was like, all right, good night, guys. So I'm at D1 and 2 stars right now, and I need to play Survivor decks. And it's the 6th of the month. Do you know how many times I've stopped myself from going and climbing on NA and hitting Legend? It's the latest I think I've ever hit
more
Legend
than 2.
It's the latest I've hit legend in like years, and it's driving me nuts. So this is also percolating in the background of my psyche when I start talking about how much my week sucked. All right.
So back when you said that you tried everything, so you've got your phone out of the case to try and keep it cool. I think there's one other thing that you could do to try and keep your phone cool, to maybe improve your experience, and that is putting sunglasses on it. I mean, did you even try that? No. You haven't tried anything. What?
You're right. I should have brought sunscreen.
Yeah.
I should have
aloe vera gel.
Played in the freezer. I should have played in the freezer. You know what? Like let's just go full on. Just like
you should have just gone to your house.
Faraday cage myself, and I seriously considered coming back here, like when everybody was asleep, just like driving back here in the night and streaming for a couple hours and driving back to sleep on a couch. As insane as that sounds, I did consider it, but I'm like, no, that's nuts. It's not worth like 35 minutes both ways, right? So
yeah.
No, this week sucked, and I'm glad it's over, and I'm perfectly happy to talk about the news now.
Welcome to the news. The news is so good.
And most of the news is very good. But it does start out.
Welcome to the news. The news is actually pretty bad.
On the day of Theorycrafting, Stonekeep from Hearthstone Top Decks announced the following. Hey everyone, Stonekeep here with an important notice. My contract with ZAM, the company that owns Hearthstone Top Decks, has ended, so I will no longer be updating the website. I know that the timing isn't great given that Cataclysm given that Cataclysm is just around the corner. And I apologize for that. I'm still looking forward to the new expansion, so we might run into each other in-game. I've been writing about Hearthstone since 2015 and running Hearthstone Top Decks and all of its socials for the last 7 years. Talking about the game I love has been a dream job for me, and it was only possible because of your support. Thank you for reading the articles, tuning in for the expansion coverage, and sending me your cool decks. I couldn't do it for so long without all of you. I'm sure you have questions about the future of the website itself, but I can't give you any answers right now, since that's not up to me anymore. Please wait for official communication from ZAM. As you can probably guess, I'm looking for a new job right now. Ideally, I'd like to keep making Hearthstone content, but I don't know if that's going to work out. If not, anything related to writing, preferably about games, managing content or social media would be great. You can contact me at stonekeephs@gmail.com.
Yeah, rip. I mean, I've definitely, like, I know Hearthstone Top Decks was one of the resources for me as a new player. One of the first things that comes up in Google searches for, like, oh, decks I should play when you first start net decking. This is one of the sites that you definitely get sent to, and it's like, oh yeah, this looks like a thing that I should frequent. They have the top decks. And the articles are always helpful because, again, I've talked about, again, it was an old Guardian article in Stonekeep, but all you need is Gen was one of the important articles for me in my Nance moments in Hearthstone, where it's like, whoa, okay, so here's this legendary that's actually super flexible and gives me multiple decks. All right, yeah, let's use some of these codes. Sweet. So that was so yeah, I mean, bummer for the website. Uncertain future from this point out. Not a happy thing in the Hearthstone landscape.
No, very much not. And especially, like, I gotta say, I think that the Blizzard team is really seems to have put a lot of effort into making this a really special release. Like, we're continuing a story from across the timeways, kind of, and it, Cataclysm, it's Deathwing, there's this big stuff, like there's like this big event and this, all of the colossals, and playing with them, it felt good, so
Yeah.
in the lead up to that, just for this to just, when the traffic would be more, when profit, I mean, from a purely capitalistic standpoint, like, you want to do this, like, just wait like 2 or 3 months, like,
Yeah.
not necessarily 2 or 3 months, but like, the way that Hearthstone goes, like, there are ebbs and flows. Right before an expansion release is one of the flows.
Yeah, for sure.
Rotation, where people are being given all these things, all of the cards from Perils and not Great Dark Beyond, but the other one,
Emerald Dream.
Emerald Dream. Thank you. To have access to for, the whole expansion, like there seems to be an active, like, recruitment phase going on here, and that's kind of when people are going to need these resources that, like you were talking about, Schmoopy, like this is when people are going to be looking for those articles on what can I craft for cheap. Like, hey, I packed X, Y, or Z legendary. That's awesome. But I am a budget player and I don't have other stuff. Like, they would feature different things, like here, there, and it was always super useful. And of course, someone's livelihood is the most sad part about it. Like, and Stonekeep was, and still is, an incredible, like, person and resource, and was in a hatless Hearthstone landscape. Like, Stonekeep was one of the people who was kind of stepping up, and if he, depending on where he gets hired, like, he may not be able to invest as much time in Hearthstone going forward if he's being employed in a different game, or where, like, obviously he doesn't know, because, like, we just read the thing together. You know what I know, but sadness abounds, and for so many reasons. And I think that both the lack of the resource, but also if it was a monies thing, it seems like, honestly, a lot of traffic and thus ad revenue was probably just around the corner that now they're missing out, or almost certainly. Like, if Stonekeep's not writing the stuff, like, what content are they going to have to put there? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
So while we're starting on a downer, the rest is honestly going to be a lot more involved and much more of a discussion and all of that kind of stuff, because we're going to talk about the theory crafting. We're going to talk about the reversions. Like, there are lots of exciting things that we're going to talk about.
Sheep theory crafting happened.
It sure did. It was so much fun.
Since only one of our trio actually got to do theory crafting, Hydra isn't here tonight because he's fixing his kid's car. I won't get into more details like that beyond that, but, like, he's been working on his car for a long time, and he can tell us all about what was all messed up about it. But I didn't get to play Theorycraft. Sheep did, so I'm going to interview Sheep as if I've never met Sheep before in my life to see how theory crafting went. Hello, stranger, who
Greetings.
I have never met before.
My name is ElectricSheepCity. What is your name?
My name is Schmoopydady. what standout cards were the most fun for you to play, or the most flashy that you saw on offer in your 9 hours of theory crafting, extravaganza, caper, whatever you did? I don't even know how many limbs you have. You claim to be a sheep. You could have 4 for all I know.
Before we talk about theory crafting, both sheep and humans have 4 limbs. So that's accurate. That was just fun.
I can only see your waist.
So
I can't see where
that's true.
I can't
That's
make
true.
assumptions. Okay.
Fair.
Person I have never met before who is now calling me ableist. All right, go ahead. Where are we at? What's your most favorite card to play?
So I think my most favorite card to play was probably Ragnaros. But Alakir was also a blast. That was just so much fun. The Colossals, like changing the effect. Oh my gosh. The Colossals, Rag in particular, because like I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Person I've never met.
Right.
When I drop a rag and immediately boom, 2 rag shots. And then if they deal with it, then they do 2 more rag shots. And then if they don't deal with it, then at the end of the turn, they do 2 more rag shots. And during the next turn, rag can attack and both the appendages can attack. And like, it's
a lot of damage. Neptulon-esque. Neptulon-esque.
Very much
probably.
so. Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, Alakir felt even more Neptulon-esque. Because, so Alakir gives you 2 legendaries that cost the amount that Alakir's attack is, but they only cost 1. And so like drop an 8 mana Alakir. This is how I held on in the game that I won on the fancy big stream. Played Alakir, got a 1 mana, oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank on the name of the minion. The 10 mana 1/30 with taunt and elusive and
when you would call it tortilla.
Yes. Yeah.
Tortilla.
So
okay, so you're a lucky trash. Got it.
Impressive. Well, so I got 2 things. The other one was fine, you know.
Right.
But tortilla, like, let me hold on for 1 more turn, which is all I needed to boom, win the video game.
Oh, that's sick. That's cool.
So there's that effect, but I mean, it's Alakir. Unfortunately, Alakir does not have charge, but Alakir does have rush. So, play Alakir, boom, 10 mana, rush, or 10 attack, rush, Wind Fury, clear 2 things, and then have like the 2 appendages, which continue to buff the board, like I was talking about earlier. The Colossals feel really impactful and like really big in a way that's not just like, yes, the art, like we were talking about earlier. Course, we were playing on the like God accounts, like we had all the signatures, so like me, I'm gonna play them. Right?
Absolutely.
So like the art looking all big, but like then on the space on the board, there are 3 board slots, but then the impact, like what they actually do. I mean, it's big, like it's colossal, it's impactful. It really changes that game. So I don't know that we're going to see them as much in our format because they tend to be on the more expensive side and you have to kind of build your deck around it. And the supporting pieces are more kind of typically like mid-range like costed. So like we're probably not going to be heralding a whole lot in competitive Wild, but oh my gosh, in standard, like, I think they're going to, and it was so much fun doing that. That was the Colossals, but particularly those 2 were the standouts.
Nice. What stranger I have never met before. What was your favorite deck that you played?
Well, my favorite deck that I played, had to have been Herald Warrior, because of rag. Like, to be completely honest, like that rag effect. Every time you herald, you get one of those soldiers that then, if they deal with it, then okay, like you get a little mini or midi or full rag shot, and it just feels like, I mean, what I want to do, like summon minions that if your opponent actually deals with, then like damage goes somewhere. Just feels like, I mean, it was fun. It was a blast. Herald Warrior, because I played some other death rattles in there too, and Ragnaros's other part of his effect is not just the appendages. Any death rattles happen as an end of turn effect. So like, yeah, the other appendages that were out, that happened, but like, for example, I was playing Plated Beetle. Like, I was gaining 3 armor at the end of the turns whenever I played Rag 2. Like, not that I needed it at that point, but like,
if it was there, you were getting
Beetle was on the board. It was happening. Yeah.
How is Deathwing? How is Deathwing the hero card?
Oh, Deathwing was so sick. So the hero card, so starting out, you can choose from one of the 4 like effects. 4 AoE seemed to be like pretty much the one that was almost always gone for. Unless, they had like a big minion. If you've heralded twice, then you get to choose 2. And if you've heralded 4 times, then you get to choose all 4. And you can choose them in whatever order you want. So for example, one time there was a big taunt and a lot of minions. The taunt had a death rattle, like summon a 3-drop or a 4-drop or something. So I actually dealt with the taunt first, and then there was a taunt that popped up because of that. And then I dealt the 4 damage AoE. The other 2 didn't matter because with my board, I was able to go face and win.
Yeah, you got there.
Like, the effect just, again, feels so powerful, and feels so cool. And of course, we're playing with the signatures. Like, we've got the God account. We're playing with the Deathwing like hero that can be played really in Warrior and Shaman, and it is incredible. Whenever you attack with him, he like takes a chomp out of whatever it is on board.
Yes, he noms. Yeah. It's pretty sick that he noms. 12 armor. 12 armor felt really strong.
12 armor. And then the hero power. Like if whatever you do like doesn't actually, like, they're able to deal with the 12 that you summon, because that's one of the other ones, the 12 armor, then you push the button and you've got 5 attack on your hero. That's almost certainly going to be relevant with the Demon Hunter one. I didn't get a chance to play the Colossal and Deathwing simultaneously in that one, but like, I imagine that'll be relevant.
That's a Power Blast, right? That's before the appendages come out to Pyroblast. You add the appendages and you're really cooking with gas. Could be an OTK.
Oh yeah. TK.
Yeah, a TK. Yeah, I hate, you know what? I actually make fun of people who call, like, in Hearthstone when they call it an OTK, but like you've been applying chip damage over the last 13 turns, and you also like your crappy combo is like not quite lethal damage and also require 2 Emperor Thoracin ticks, right? Like there's I make fun of, and I'm doing it myself, but you know what? It's and then I was just changing the OTK to an oh yeah TK. Oh, okay. Well, there you
go. That was a joke I was making, but
for you, what were some of the stronger decks being played? Right, like we've played these Theorycrafts before. Person I've never met, we've played the Theorycrafts before, and we're you start being like, oh yeah, that deck looks pretty good. Oh yeah, that deck looks pretty good, and like the tryhards start like kind of floating towards what they think the best deck is, and it's not perfect because again, this is a very different format than what Standard will look like by the time the cards comes in. But what looked like the strong decks
in Standard, because that's where most of those were. Druid, which is kind of like going like tokeny. I saw like Language Hacker was playing one with the quest, for example, right? most people later on at least weren't playing the quest at least anymore. And they weren't at the very least keeping it if they in their hand, because I was tracking that, because like we learned when we did that theory crafting before, person I've never met. Playing the quest on turn 1 doesn't really help you in the druid, but
No.
you know, a token druid of some variety. It wasn't really like the one that I was kind of gravitating towards. I'd built like a imbue with Himwul rune totem version, but I was the only one doing that nonsense. Most other people were just, you know, playing druid.
There sheep goes. All right, let's.
Yeah. So the colossal for the rogue is a very thief oriented. And so there was a lot of that as well. Like I mentioned, I played like Bridge and Baby Bear back to back, like both playing different versions of that earlier on. I saw that ongoing. So a Burgle like Herald thing there. I was playing a lot of the warrior. There were a couple other people doing that too. Like it was present, but it wasn't one that most people kind of like seemed to stick on like I did whenever I found that one. Smattering of shaman, not really a whole lot of that.
A smidgen.
Yeah. I think that's
a lick.
Oh, the mage. There was like a spell, not really damage, but kind of spell damage. And then there's the new legendary that's basically like a Keliseth, but for spell damage. So it gives all spells in your hand and deck spell damage +1. And so all of a sudden, everything has an additional spell damage. And that matters a lot for a lot of things, like, you know, Seabreeze Chalice wasn't in standard, but like things like Seabreeze Chalice with that ping effect, and it does multiple times, and then it's like 2 damage each time.
Yeah, it's nice that it's not limited to one spell school like they could have, right? They could have said all arcane spells get +1, right? We could have gone the Haunter route. Instead, it's like anything. Fire spell, arcane, frost, anything that you're sending face gets +1 spell damage. So that, yeah, it looks pretty good.
That's most of what I recall, but you know, 9 hours. I'm sure there's more, at some point. And it kind of blends together. Both.
How about which cards look like they're going to have the biggest impact on Wild, or have the best chance in Wild based off of your limited scope of what you saw?
The first place my mind went for this was Torch. And I think that's probably not correct, but it also might be. So Torch is a 1 mana, like you deal 8 damage to a minion, to a damaged minion. That's the key part that would keep it from being good, from being ubiquitous in our format. Any extra damage, return it to your hand. And so, for example, if there's, you know, if I do a whirlwind effect and everything has 1 health left, like it's not just I can torch and then I can torch once more, but then it's gone and it fizzles out. No, you can continue torching and torching and torching and torching and torching.
Until the damage runs out. Yeah, that's cool.
And so that was much more impactful than I thought that it would be. But that condition may be a little bit much for us, like in Wild, because we have like 2 mana AoEs that like can do quite a bit, and like we have other conditions where like we're building up our armor, and then like that discounts things like shield shatter style, right? Like
yeah,
and those are probably so. That's where my mind went to initially. The other place my mind went is not one that I particularly enjoyed playing in the standard versions, but I think that the Wild one will be, and that's Ancient of the Old Ones. And that is a 1 mana 2/1 rogue demon that like you transform a card in your hand and you get to choose what it is. It's not random into a coin. So, you know, people were essentially using it. I'm not sure exactly what for in standard. What one of the folks in chat said that it was at yesterday during whenever I vocalized that like it was for you have the burgle effect, and what if what you get is like a hot donkey doo-doo, like you can turn it into a coin and all of a sudden it's actually useful.
You can turn patches into a coin now.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
I drew Baku. Look at that. Now Baku's a coin and actually useful.
We're gonna run this in Og Rogue specifically to turn Baku into a coin. Hold the phone, chat. I'm gonna get that explanation from a chatter, and I'm gonna reach into the internet and I'm gonna slap someone across the face. I swear. I swear. That's gonna be the rationale that somebody's gonna give to me, and I'm not gonna take it well. I can just see it in the future now.
Though, of course, where I see like this being used is in Miracle Rogue in particular. Like you're churning through stuff like, oh, you've got something that's less useful than like a coin would be. Boom, you've played 1 mana. You had to initially have 1 mana. You got it back with the coin. You played 2 cards, so like it just continues on with that Miracle Rogue type thing. And then the last one, which I played Command Claw in my Death Knight, but I didn't see but like I think 2 or 3 other Command Claws throughout the entirety of the event. I think that's going to be strong and wild. I think that's going to be incredible and wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
I put Sheep Huff's Copium on there because, like, you know, even Death Knight, but like, I also think maybe even Death Knight, maybe just in general, because it's just so good.
Have to be. I think you could, if right now we have a plague version of like an unholy aggro DK, and one of those does exist. I have a list that I like. If we cut the plague package, because it's never really very good, it's very matchup dependent, right? If you cut the plague package and you're running Command Claw instead, I think you build the deck a little bit differently. You think you build it a little bit more aggressively, a little bit less like, oh, let me dump a bunch of crap into your opponent's deck and hope that they draw the cards, and a little bit more, well, let's just go get them.
Let's set my opponent's health to 0 because that's how I win the video game.
Command Claw seems like perfect for that. And since we are getting some stuff like the Zerg location revert, we are going to be getting some like tools that you could slot in there for early aggression, right? Like, let me get my spawning pool into Zergling on 1, into Command Claw on 2, and now my Zerglings are basically, you know, the little Germongers running around out there, or one of them is, right? Yeah, I don't know. That's an attractive curve to me. I think into Construct Quarter, which eats one of the 1/1/1 and not the one that has the attack buff, and then you go from like, you know, it's just everything starts coming together a little bit, and Command Claws is way better than just hero powering on 2, right? Even if you equip and don't swing, you're saving up for more damage later.
Completely agreed. And I probably still will play even Plague DK just because it's me.
No, well, I think it's a great even.
But the
card
even
too,
ones are good.
when in doubt, right?
Oh,
like
I added the plague part to it because you were talking about cutting the plagues.
Oh, yeah.
I was specifically mentioning that I'm probably going to keep the plagues in.
That's fine. That's fine. But like, you know, like at least like worst comes to worst, you turn your hero power into a little 3 attack missile, right? And that's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, right. It's a 3 mana with those 2 comboed together. 5 damage? But then you get to do that turn.
And the next turn.
And then you get to do that again the next turn.
Yeah.
With one
a lot of
additional
value.
mana for the hero power.
It's a 2-mana
that's
Pyroblast.
That's a pyro. Yeah, right.
Right.
I mean, it's a
lot of
4
damage.
mana over 2 turns, but I mean, still. That seems like exactly what even DK like wants and needs. So that seems exactly like what so many aggressive DKs want and need. So that's the one I think is probably the most likely to not just like be impactful, but like make a really big impact. Like take a deck that's currently not like competitive, like hyper competitive at least, and bring it up a tier, I think. The following cards are being reverted to their original versions upon their release. And I'm just going to read these. Schmoopydady is going to do one sentence.
One sentence. I get one sentence to talk about their impact on the wild format as I understand them from here I sit.
Unless it's one that we want to just like talk about.
Well, we can always double back, but like I'm going to keep it to one sentence.
Okay. Starting with Tigrish Plushie is going to be 3 mana down from 4.
Was already an attractive option in like 3 to 5 decks. They're going to be back sniffing it.
Jungle Gem is going to have 3 durability, again, up from 2.
The durability is not the problem with this card.
Concierge is going to be 3 mana again, down from 4.
Mage might play this with the tourist that plays Paladin cards.
Party Fiend is back down to 1 mana from 2.
New Burnlock 1-drop?
Yeah. Everything Must Go, 8 mana down from 9.
777's Rogue remains unplayable, but this makes it better.
Malted Magma is now, or will be, all enemies instead of enemy minions. It hits face again.
Even Shaman got its weapon back.
Yay. Wave of Nostalgia, 5 mana, down from 6.
Nobody cares except for Arena.
Ethereal Oracle, 3 mana, down from 4.
Fun draw engine for all kinds of decks, not just meta ones.
Dreadhound Handler, 2 health, up from 1.
The best 2-drop in the format got buffed.
Alien Encounters, the tokens, which are called Snacking Scrungucks,
You're welcome.
are
Sorry, bless you. That's what I meant to say.
are back up to 5 health, up from 4.
Appropriate power level for wild.
Painter's Virtue has lifesteal again.
We play hand buff Paladin again.
Yeah. Domino Effect, 3 mana, down from 4.
I hated playing around with this card. I'm going to have to again.
Kerrigan Queen of Blades, 7 mana, down from 8.
I can't wait to coin this on 5 after a Nidus Worm. Oh.
Jim Raynor, 7 mana, down from 8.
Nobody plays Terran in Wild anyway.
Gorgon Zormu, 3 mana, down from 4.
Good dragon off of Curator.
Spawning Pool, 1 mana, down from 2.
Welcome back, Jermonger Hunter.
Liftoff, 3 mana, down from 4.
This is wild. Only the mentally ill play Terran Shaman. Terran anything. Terran anything.
Terran Paladin? I've got a Terran Paladin in my collection.
No. Oh, God, no.
Oh, no, I think you're right. I think it was Shaman. Oh, well. Chrono Boost, 4 mana, down from 5.
We have Nazmani Priest at home.
Artanis, 7 mana, down from 8.
Questline Druid, rejoice.
Yeah. Seaside Giant, 10 mana, up from 9. Wait, I thought you said this was a buff. Regains the effect, costs 2 less for each time you've used a location this game, up from 1 less.
400 dust.
King Plush. The charge is no longer conditional, so the battle cry plushes back. Battle cry, return all minions with less attack than this to their owner's decks. Back from battle cry. If your opponent has 15 or less health, return all other minions to their owner's deck and gain charge. So now always has charge. Yeah.
Completely irrelevant. Timmy's have fun.
I will. Cliff Dive. 6 mana, down from 7.
Didn't even know this was nerfed.
Cursed Campaign. 3 mana, down from 4.
Fringe experimentation.
Ball Hog. The battle cry and death rattle. We'll deal 3 again, up from 2.
Much better minion. People finally take it seriously.
Mm-hmm. Brittlebone Buccaneer. 4 health, up from 3. And then I think that this part is just a change in general. It no longer has a green rune.
The runes, I believe I saw someplace, officially are a mistake. They're going to be fixed on revert. So any rune change you saw might not be for real.
Cool.
That was referenced, though, in fairness to you, that was referenced on like a Reddit article response from a dev, maybe John Blizzard. somebody official seeming said that was a mistake and would be changed, but that was a screenshot I saw from a third-hand like this is literally basically hearsay that but I wanted to just mention I think the rune changes aren't going to happen. Okay. Sorry. One sentence for this. Bigger butt to stick for a turn to get value.
Mm-hmm. Up to Guiding Figure. 2 mana, down from 3.
Nobody cares.
Reserved Spot. 3 mana, down from 4.
See the last card.
Corpsicle. 2 mana, down from 3.
Reno Rainbow DK, keep eating well.
Mm-hmm. And any even that can afford to run. Yeah. Ultraless Cavern. 3 mana, down from 4.
Hipster removal package.
True. RC Rampage. 4 mana, down from 5.
Might play it in Reno.
Yeah. And now we're getting to some that are not rotating. They're just being reverted. Possessed Lackey. 5 mana, down from 6.
Somebody was reading Reddit.
Giggling Inventor. 5 mana, down from 6.
This dart went way off course.
And Blade Dance. 2 mana, down from 3.
I've waited for this revert for way too long.
So long. There are also some cards that are being adjusted. So we've got Chia Drake, used to be a 2/4, now going to be a 3/5. I think these are all full reverts too? Question mark?
I don't think so. Chia Drake might be, but I'm assuming not if they've been split up. They're definitely not. Like, I know Lamplighter is different, for example.
Okay, so yeah, these must just be ones that are being adjusted. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, because these are not all the previous ones. I went through the Theorycraft client and had to compare the two, but I had a list. I just didn't know what
Yeah, these are slightly changed or slightly buffed or slightly reverted, not fully reverted.
Yeah. So starting with Chia Drake to a 3/5.
We're not playing this for the body.
Lamplighter from 4/4 Battlecry. If you played an elemental last turn, deal 4 damage. To 4/3 Battlecry, deal 1 damage. Improve by each turn in a row you've played an elemental.
Degenerate reach tool.
Yeah. Wondrous Wand. Back to draw 3 cards, reduce their cost to 1. The nerfed version was reduce their cost by 3. So, whoa.
Big buff to Reno Druid.
Mm-hmm. Threads of Despair. From 3 mana to 2 mana.
Could have been 1 mana.
Yeah.
Busted card, by the way. I know I'm breaking my rule here. It's a busted card. I feel personally like it would have been fine at 1 mana, but at 2 mana you can play it in all the DKs, even the even ones. If you really just have to play the even ones.
I do, but I don't think I would play Threads of Despair in my even one because my even ones are typically more aggressive.
I don't know. It's pretty busted. I was doing the same thing.
It is really good.
Remember when even Paladin was like turbo broken because Beam was 8 mana? I was playing Threads of Despair. You were playing trust me, you were playing Threads of Despair and even DK and you were eating good. Yeah.
Yeah. Fair. Okay. Arcanite Defense Crystal. 5 mana 4/5 to a 4 mana 3/4 with taunt. So it's got the taunt back too.
Welcome back, Starship Priest.
Murmur. Old 7 mana, your first battle cry, each minion costs 1 but immediately dies after being played. To new, 9 mana, your battle cry minions cost 1 but immediately die after being played.
Wait a little longer to be degenerate.
Food Fight. From 4 mana to 3 mana.
Friends don't let friends play Big Warrior.
Brain Gill. From a 3 mana 3/2 to a 2 mana 2/1.
It can't buff itself.
Dep Aura. Your leftmost minion has +1 attack and lifesteal. To now, your leftmost minion has +2 attack and lifesteal.
Maybe hand buff Paladin's back?
What was it? Like the original before the nerf one? Again, I'm drawing
attack.
a blank.
It was +3 attack.
Okay. I didn't realize that it kept the lifesteal because we just completely stopped playing it, but I digress. Hydration Station from 10 mana to 8 mana, but still doesn't summon the same thing even if multiple died.
No one will notice this.
Yeah. Ceaseless Expanse from 125 mana to 100 mana, but retains the nerfed stats of 10/10.
Slightly more playable in piles.
Mm-hmm. And Boogie Down from 4 mana to 3.
Nobody asked for this, and no deck wants to play this.
Yeah, without the effect being reverted, like.
And it's called to like in a weird call to arms paladin. Like where are we fitting this? Like what kind of a rise to the occasion paladin? Like I don't. I don't know. Like because I was in Discord and World 8's like, hey, it's really cool that they reverted Boogie Down. I'm like, is it? All right. I mean, I guess it's heartening, but it's like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, if it was a full reversion, then I think that would be cool. But why?
Why is a good question.
A lot of the others, like I can see why. Like Hydration Station, man, if they reverted the effect, like it we would play it possibly in Reno piles.
Well, the thing is like Reno Lone Ranger exists. Like you can't really build a whole winning strategy on a giant board of big stuff that happens later than turn 8. I'm sorry. You just like, it's just, this is my big problem with Q block, right? So like, it's like, Schmoopy, why do you hate Q block? Why have you banned Q block from your stream? Because you don't, if I win with Q block, it's never winning the way that you think you want to win, right? Like you're not winning with the big demons coming down and like, you know, waves of threats. No, they just poof your stuff and it's gone, right? Like if you're going to win with Q block, you're going to win with the clears and like you can do any Warlock deck for that. So like I hate playing Q block at this point because it's just, there's no nostalgia. The pattern of play has completely broken. Just if you want to play big demons, go play like Crane, some sort of like, Crane game deck. Just do that. Don't bother with the cube and like the skull, and now we're going to like make more copies of it, and we've got a Void Daddy. Like, just come on, man.
But we do have Possess Lackey back.
It's like 5 mana. It's just
Yeah, it's way too
it's
expensive.
still
now.
too expensive. And you know what? We're sack summoning. We're now sack summoning Meat Wagon, because it pulls the Umbra so that we can still play Egg Warlock. Man, it's not looking great out there. So your strategy here, Sheep, of running the Possessed Lackey is interfering with my summoning my Meat Wagon. So you need to step off. All right. Take your Possessed Lackey and get away from my Meat Wagon. All right. It's worth noting, too, that there were some reversions. We had so many nerfs that were rotating this year. There are some notable cards that are left off that were omitted. Yes. Off the top of my head, just a quick rundown. Seabreeze Chalice, still not going face. Sandbox Scoundrel, the mana cheat tool that every rogue loved to have, backbone of Hook Tusk, aggro rogue. Like rogues are like still like, in the wilderness, like rubbing sticks together and making fire with whatever they got. But Sandbox Scoundrel not getting reverted was a big hit, big hit for the class. Sock Puppet remains a 1/2 instead of a 1/3. No reason right now in the format that couldn't have been changed back. Testing Dummy still only hits minions. It does not hit face. They must have been so sick of testing dummy metas that they were just like, let's make sure this is never meta ever again. And so that wasn't reverted. What else wasn't reverted? Divine Brew. Oh, Divine Brew wasn't reverted. Good. Hated that card. No longer gives attack. Still stays as it is. What else were some big ones? Some people were like
another one, but I lost.
Shafar. Shafar was not reverted. Yeah. We survived that. Ziliax wasn't reverted at all. Ziliax is the most nerfed card in history. Glow Sticks. See, we're getting good ones from chat. Glow Sticks was not reverted. I'm happy about that one too. No more Unkilliax. Yes, no more nobody has to ever Unkilliax and Unkilliax ever again. Ha 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 ha. But yeah, no, like there are some big cards that they passed up on. The Zerglings. Zergling still creates a 1/1 Zergling. And Infester, like there is no Zerg DK. They made sure that they never have to hear about that deck ever again. It would it's like Murloc Paladin, right? Like right now, Murloc Paladin terrorizes low MMR players in Wild because it's like, I don't know, like it's like, I don't know, here's an inevitable deck that I can't actually beat. And Zerg DK
Raza of the Resealed.
Hated. I'm sorry?
Raza the Resealed.
Raza the Resealed is a big one. NHL is like, nah, Schmoopy, they're going to revert Raza. I know it. China loves Raza way too much. They're going to bring him back. And they chose not to. And it's really striking because I didn't agree with him. I thought that they were always going to err on the side of like, let's not allow the animation, the possible animation cheat debt to exist in the format. But it is crazy that they design a Raza to repeat the hero power and then nerf him for the hero power expansion before the hero power even comes out. Kind of incredible. And then don't revert him when it rotates. It's very mind-boggling. It's a mind-boggling series of events.
Another one, Zarimi. I thought for sure Zarimi was going to get
You thought
reverted.
For sure? I do not like time warp effects. Not like warp effects where like, for example, I have no problem with Boom Pistol Bully or Lotheb, right? Like, because you are picking your option of how you're denying your opponent options. I don't like the cards that say take an extra turn. When those cards are good, it's infuriating.
Hey, I win the video game.
And granted, in both cases, you usually have to do a thing to set up that win condition, then you go and you do the win condition. I find those effects just frustrating to play against from a very visceral place. It's probably not a logical place. It's just like at this point they just piss me off. So I'm very happy Zarimi did not get reverted, but Sparrow Claw's pissed, and I understand why.
Wheel of Death did not get reverted.
That's a weird one. I mean, that was always kind of okay in our format. You could play it with Blood Bloom early, and then what was kind of cute is we had Drakari enchanters in this enchanters in this format, so we could make the dial turn faster. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, agreed.
Sing Along Buddy, Mystery Egg also were not reverted.
Mystery Egg was the next one I was gonna say.
Oh, okay,
poor Tom.
Good one. Poor Tom, but like also like good. I'm sorry, Lion Hunter was not good for the format. It was like it was fun. It was cool, fun. But it was a board-based deck that basically literally strangled out every other board-based deck that couldn't get underneath it. It was toxic.
Yeah.
So good.
I know we've addressed it in chat already, but Treasure Distributor.
Yes.
Obvious.
Yes. Probably
it feels
good.
like we're already playing Treasure Distributor in our aggro decks.
It's just fine. It's one of the best one drops. It's one of the best one drops in the format.
Incendious did not get reverted.
Incendious is a weird one. Bob did not get get reverted at all. Probably for the best. Snatchy Bob was kind of broken.
Metal Detector.
Yeah, I think it's fine in this form as is. It still sees some play, especially in Hostage Mage.
Yeah.
It went from like the best anti-aggro weapon you could say like the best anti-aggro weapon in the format to you could make a case that it's still the best anti-aggro weapon because like now it's even better. Now you can just swing face. You don't even have to kill a minion and get your coin. So you're getting one less coin typically, but at the same time, you're still in a position where you're always getting your coin if you can swing. So that's pretty neat.
We forgot another big one, and we both played this one a lot. I know I did in both Standard and Wild. Flickering Lightbot.
Oh yeah, good. They could have though. Like honestly, they could have, but also good. Velen.
Brain Masseuse.
Yeah, Brain Masseuse was still seeing a lot of play. Umpire's Grasp. This is what I mean. Like we keep finding more and more cards to be like, oh, that could have gone. Oh, that could have gone. I think there's only
and the list that we read at the start seemed pretty exhaustive, right?
I was keeping it to one sentence on purpose because I thought that it would turn into a 5-hour show if I went in depth on why the good cards are not good and why the bad cards are bad. And some of them, like Ethereal or Oracle, we could talk about that on its own for 45 minutes just because
easily
of everything it was enabling in Wild versus how it was universally hated and quote unquote abused in Standard. Where I think it's more of a virtue of like, every other card surrounding it was dog water. So like if something is like smells like it's not moldy, then that immediately catapults it to we must nerf it. It's the best thing we can see. So I don't. I'm still salty that it ever got nerfed in the first place. We lost so much time together.
Yeah. Oh, another one that was not unnerfed. Sleep Under the Stars. We're still playing that.
We're still playing that. That doesn't need to get reverted. I love 7-mana Sleep Under the Stars, but like, I gotta be fair. Okay, I'll say this.
It's fine.
Right?
I did too. My was it doesn't need to be back. Like, we really don't need it back. I liked it too.
From my I try to be fair from my perspective, where it's like I understand that I have certain biases, right? I am like a lot of the public. I don't like sitting there waiting for combo decks and animations to play out. That might be actually more of an animation problem than an actual philosophical deck problem. But when one of the things that I like doesn't need to be fixed and or should get nerfed, I'd like to think I usually speak up and say, oh yeah, we shouldn't be really doing that. 7 Mana Sleep is up there with like one of the best cards ever, and it was so impossible. I remember reviewing it being like, I don't know, this seems kind of expensive. It's just, you'd never played with Choose Thrice, and part of that is refreshing mana before. Like, once you start playing the card, you're like, oh my god, this is busted.
Where did it go? Tidepool Pupil. Again, another one that we're still playing.
That's seeing play. Yeah, we don't need to.
We don't need to revert that.
You don't need to. No, that one's fine. It's already in an animation sheet deck. It doesn't need a.
Hey, speaking of Quasar, like.
No, Quasar's good. Quasar's good at 8.
No, yeah. Very happy with that. Infestor. Let's see. I mean, I can go on and just scroll, but like, I guess it kind of brings up a thing that we've brought up a few times before, how it feels like standard is always just like, just one more nerf, just one more nerf, just one more nerf. And like, case in point, like, these are a lot of the things that like you heard the like crazy long list that we all just read, and the
still not all back.
The list of still not all back, and with good reason. Like for a lot of the ones that haven't come back, and for questionable reason, you know, they made judgment calls. That's what designers do. But like, I know that there are tons more that I wasn't looking at, like a list of nerfs. These are just ones that I was like, okay, here was this deck, here was that. Like the full list has got to be so much longer, and the rest of them are just ones that, like, I mean, who would even? You and I are not thinking of them because we didn't prepare that particular wrinkle. So that one more nerf. I mean, I feel like holding up the like Walgreens receipt after you buy like, you know, a pack of gum.
The evidence of where one more nerf gets you. Yes. One more nerf in our quest to bump Yetis at some point, right? Our magical quest to enter Hearthstone Valhalla so we could bump Yetis together and play games that last 35 minutes and end in whether or not you get the right amulet off Grifta or an Elise location. Like, ugh. Kind of incredible.
Kind of absurd.
Oh yeah, another added aspect of this that I think I just want to slip right in at the end. This was probably the lowest power level year we've had too in a long time. And because of there was a real effort made to reset the power. And you still had all of these cards that were nerfed, and in some cases not brought back, in my opinion, because the team doesn't want to have to rebalance this card ever again. They're sick of it. I do think that is an aspect of it, as where the guy's like, dude, if I have to look at Ziliax one more time and change its code because it's too broken, I think that human aspect creeps in, and I think that does get, you know, ends up being the judgment made on some of these cards, because I can't say that a wild perspective is the one that's nerfing and unnerfing these cards.
Oh, like, no, of course not.
I think at this time, we in the creator Discord, we were given like a, hey, this is what we're thinking, and like a chance to give some feedback, but like it was basically like, boom, this is what we're doing, let's go. And so like to the community, it remains in some quarters looking like, well, like it looks like they just threw darts at a board and reverted what they wanted to revert. So like in some cases, it's like there's a little bit of ungratefulness because, you know, they don't have to do this and change the old cards and bring them back. They didn't used to. What was nerfed was nerfed. And how's that? You just left it. If it went to wild, it went to wild. We were surprised with reverts, and we've just sort of taken for granted that this is part of their effort that they could do to, you know, send stuff to our format. That's even excluding the cards that they sent that were buffed, that were not even nerfed. They're like, we're going to buff these when they go to wild. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a really cool thing that they're doing. But that doesn't mean that there isn't a reasonable take of unease of like, well, do they know what's going on in wild when they're reverting these things? You know what I mean? Like, do they have like a real perspective of what is okay in wild and what's not? What's your take on that?
So I think honestly that this past year being a lower power level, maybe one of the reasons why we have the Walgreens receipt that the CVS, whichever one is the one.
I think you're right.
I don't know. Whatever. But why we have that like absurdly long list, right? Because these are all things that, not all, but a lot of them were nerfed in the past year and not previous to that, right? So this is not always the case, right? Like by any stretch of the imagination. For example, the Painter's Virtue, right? Like that happened. But Ethereal Oracle took a while, right? Because they nerfed everything around it, and then that was the one that was still good, like you were talking about. So I kind of feel like it's almost both one more nerf like sentiment meeting that like year of lower power level, but the year previous wasn't as low. So maybe just kind of like a 1-2 punch that leads to this laundry list.
Yeah.
Some things I understand why we're nerfed, something unnerfed, some things I don't know why weren't. But at the end of the day, I'm not the one who's trying to design and balance
that's true.
A format with as minimal interference as possible. And I think that as minimal interference as possible is a big part of that, right? Like Murmur, the effect is back, but it's 9, right?
I actually think that's
so we get to play with our fun things, but it's later. So
exactly,
it feels like they're giving us our toys back, but hopefully, it seems like their goal is to not like have to come in and tweak them again.
Yeah, and like and like some people, especially in like, you know, I spend time in Boogerworm's Discord, and in his Discord, people are like, "Oh man, but like it got the effect back. But we gotta wait till turn 9." I'm like, "Yeah, you shouldn't be like togwaggling people on turn 9, man. Like that shouldn't." You shouldn't be doing the full togwaggle combo. Like, excuse me, not turn 9, on like turn 6. You know, turn 7, turn 8. We shouldn't be like, I don't know. I thought it was appropriate what they've gone and they've done with the Murmur nerf, because again, that card can be really toxic, really, really toxic, and they let the effect ride, but you just have to wait a little longer, greed pile, before you get to do your whole blowout turn. I think it was a smart nerf, because like if they just sent it back as is, there's no doubt in my mind they're going to need they're going to need to touch it in the future. So why not future proof it now? I thought it was smart.
Well, and kind of like Ceaseless Expanse, the part that was reverted was we're not going to have plus 125 warrior anymore. We're going to have plus 100 warrior, right?
Yeah.
Like the thing that was more unnerfed is the thing that we were using as an advantage. You know, it's they dealt with Holy Wrath, right? Like, thankfully, I say as someone who played that deck, it wasn't good for the format. Thankfully, they dealt with it, right? This reversion, it's cheaper for the people who want to use it, but it's also kind of like a slight nudge to like an established deck that's going on, right? Like that feels 100%. Kind of fun too. And I'm gonna, I'm gonna sniff at Hand Buff Paladin again.
Sure.
with the dep or a like half revert. We'll see if +2 is enough.
I know you're going to.
I think it may be.
You're going to probably give Even Warrior a shot, knowing you, right? Like you do dabble from time to time. Even Warrior got a bunch of cards. Oh man, we had those nerfs.
Still
this
no
week too,
Justicar
right?
though.
We had those nerfs this week too, right? I just realized we didn't even talk about those. The standard nerfs, Crocs to 2 and stuff like that.
Thought that was last week, but you know what? I think you're right.
I
think that was this week.
We're getting a lot of, and we don't have to go through them all either, but like we're getting a lot of shocks to the system. It's all going to happen on May 10th because they had to get it out because it was going to show up in the Theorycraft climate, right?
Yeah.
So like Elise is
You are
getting
totally
nerfed.
right.
And if Elise is nerfed, we're talking about, well, we're not going to be basing a lot of our decks around how you play around Elise now, which in some classes was really easy to do.
That was this week that they announced.
That was this week.
Oh my gosh.
And then they put Crocs to 2.
Yeah.
And Crocs
So
to 2
real
is
quick,
huge.
I'm going to have to read all these too, because this is still the news.
No, I don't think so. It's all right. I think we're okay.
Okay.
I think we're okay. Because those are mostly standard stuff anyway.
Yeah, Blob of Tar, we weren't running. Creature of Madness, we weren't running. Prescient Slither Drake, we weren't running. Stone Carver, every now and then.
In hipster decks, that's like
No
Croc's
longer
still good. Yeah,
buffs
Croc's still
itself.
good, but it's a
Croc's still good.
It's a 50% nerf. Well, 100% nerf. It's been doubled. Like it's brutal.
It's been doubled, 100% nerf. Ursine Maul is kind of wild relevant.
Not
Very wild relevant.
Which one?
I just said just very wild relevant.
Okay.
So old, y'all know it. Do you love or hate it? After your hero attacks, draw your highest cost card. Paladin, 4-mana, 4/2 weapon. New, after your hero attacks, draw a card.
You know, it's not bad, but we were building decks around this. Particularly the place where people were sniffing a lot was Mech Paladin. Yes, Mech Paladin's back. When you run 4 copies of Radar Detector, that tends to be good. One thing that people were doing were finding a way to cut either a 4-drop or something and running Maul so that your Ursine Maul is drawing Crusader's Aura more consistently to finish the game, or drawing Ziliax to finish the game. So yeah, like we're not gonna be building decks around Maul anymore, which might be a little bit freeing in some cases, but in other cases it's a little yikes.
Yeah. Also hit were Deja Vu, no longer discounted, and Remnant of Rage, lost 1/1. So yeah, most of those not wild relevant, but oh my gosh, so many things happened this week that we a huge thing.
Oh yeah, they didn't bring back Dorian. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Travel Master Dungar. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're still thinking of ones that
Unrelated Advice with Electric Sheep City.
Sheep.
Mr. Daddy.
Have you ever forgotten something?
All the time.
How do you remember something? What process do you use to conjure things from the non-memory?
I use what I call exosomatic memory. So in communication theory, it's basically writing stuff down. So you're remembering it externally rather than remembering it inside your brain meats. So that you don't have to think about it. And so my version of exosomatic memory is Post-it notes. that these are red just because they're the ones that happened to have been red whenever I grabbed them from the thing. But I've got red and blue and yellow and green, and
Do
then
the
I've
red
got
ones taste the
pins, and
best?
of course, the red ones always taste the best. It tastes like watermelon.
Wiser words have never been spoken. You heard that on.
More to be wild.
Fibery.
Delicious.